it's Failed Shot back to their video, and I hope you enjoyed our little intro there. I've been getting a ton of questions about Urzag. Every single time someone pops into my stream, I'm using him in Arena, or I'm using him in Guild Boss, and we're hitting for massive numbers, and I ask, what's my Urzag stats? I have a command for it now. So we're going to be going over Urzag here and just how powerful he is, specifically in the Arena, because I think that's really where his place is. So I'm going to showcase my build, how I'd recommend building him, and we're going to run a few Arena runs here. So let's jump right into it and just go over the build real quick here. So currently my Urzag is running a Raider and Warrior set. Now, I'd love to have him in a Curse set, because really what you're going to want to do is take advantage of this trait, which procs on a single target. So his AoE ability doesn't actually proc this trait. And the way this works is you're going to want to have a ton more attack than the enemy character, whoever you're attacking. Now, this is pretty big. This, depending on how much more attack you have, it starts to scale. I'm not going to say exponentially, but it kind of feels that way. It just goes way high up. Once you reach about 4K attack is when you start seeing actual decently large damage numbers in Arena. But you really want that curse set in order to proc this multiple times within a turn, because oftentimes the basic ability is enough to one-shot someone with Urzag. So that's actually insane. And if you check out the stats here, my Urzag is currently running 4.5k attack, 14k HP, 1600 defense. This guy's actually quite tanky for being a full-on stacking attack character. He's at 151 speed. I like a little bit of speed on him in Arena. That way he can make sure to go. If I decide to use Windstrex, he'll be going before the enemy tank comp. And then we have crit rate maxed out and 250% crit damage. I do want to note that it's not good enough just to run attack and no crit rate. I think a lot of people have that misconception. You do want crit rate, because without crit rate, you're going to be dealing significantly less damage. So crit damage is still important. I don't know why people are thinking that crit damage is not important. Attack certainly is important, but crit damage is also very important along with crit rate. I would say that attack edges out crit damage by a decent margin for Urzag, but that doesn't mean that crit damage is something you can just ignore, as well as crit rate. You do need these stats unless you have like absurd amounts of attack, like 6k, which is very difficult to get because this guy does not have a very high base attack. Now, one other stat I want to mention that's a very high priority stat is precision, because you're going to be using him in Arena and you're going to be fighting tanky characters that has agility. So you do want precision to counteract that agility. I happen to be running Zitlin in my comps oftentimes, who gives a precision bonus. So I did want to showcase that one as well, because it's a combination that a lot of people don't understand, or they're just thinking I'm using Zitlin for the curse effect, which is actually not at all why I'm using him. It's this passive right here, right above my head here. Plus 20% precision basically gives Urzag an additional, it's not quite 22 precision, or not quite 24 precision, it's about 23 precision, which puts him at 141 precision, which is pretty much almost, he's never going to be deflected, generally, unless people have some insane stats overall. So definitely a very nice combination here. Now, one other thing I want to mention, if you're going to be using Urzag, is you're going to want to run him with a attack booster, not a damage booster like Mary, but you want to run the attack up. So Brand is excellent. Yolanda is my absolute all-time favorite choice for Urzag, because he gets that bonus turn as well. Connor and Windstrex and things like that can work, but this has attack up too, and bonus turns are really nice on Urzag. So I just wanted to showcase a few runs here with a few different types of comps. You can see here I am actually at 4.3k points, rank 17, so we're not in low Arena by any means. But I wanted to showcase him in some of the things that I use him for, because I generally just full auto Arena, but we'll do it on manual here just because we are on the video here. And this comp's got the Brand, it's got the Corrupt Urzak. Now, because it doesn't have a Mythasia here, I actually am going to showcase something that I think is a little bit more interesting, which is actually running a William here. William is quite good in this squad because you can counterattack. So if there's a Brand, you can actually target someone else, one-shot them, and then go with one-shot Brand if you have enough damage. The defense down comes in handy, as well as the basic attack increase. So you can actually see here, we can go and put the defense down, and then we can go ahead and apply the counterattack up. Actually, what I probably should have done there is actually stun the Brand so he doesn't put the attack up too. So let's back out and just redo that one, because that was a complete misstep there. I completely forgot we were using Urzag. So we should be stunning Brand, and the reason for this is he's going to cleanse, but not only that, he's going to apply attack up too. Now, attack up 2 is very big for Urzag, to counteract Urzag rather, is because once you don't have an enormous amount of attack over your opponents, you're not going to be hitting for that hard. But you can see this is turn 1 with attack up 2. We could just go ahead and target Hackrin here and see how much damage we actually end up doing. And actually just one-shot Hackrin, so now they have no defense increase. We counterattacked, and we one-shot Branch. So that's one of the reasons why I love using William here. It actually worked out absolutely perfectly, just to showcase how strong this guy really is in Arena, because a lot of people, for some reason, aren't using Urzag, or they don't understand Urzag quite yet. Now, I do want to mention that you do need solid stats, as I mentioned, at least 4k attack to be really, really solid. But if you're going to use them in these higher end arena, you're definitely going to want that 4.3, 4.4, or in my case, 4.5k attack. If you don't have those higher numbers of attack, you're going to have to stall out the battles to make sure that we're stacking the attack, because you will eventually one-shot. It's all a matter of, are you going to be able to stay alive? Which is one of the reasons why I love bringing in someone like Mythasia and someone like Yolanda in here, because although Yolanda has the attack up too, she also has that shield. Mythasia has the revive. Bringing in those supporty, tankier type characters just absolutely annihilates the squad over the period of time. And there you go. We called in another Urzag hit, did 25k. We've one-shot every single person besides Corrupt Urzak. And he does have agility here and a little bit of defense. And those are the two things that can counteract Urzag quite a bit, is having a lot of agility without the precision, which is one of the reasons why we run Zitlin in these comps, especially on those light sacks, which can be a little tricky for him if you do not have a lot of precision. So we can go ahead and run it against another comp here. This one is a quite tough one with Charles, Light Zack, and Mythasia. We can go ahead and run our Zitlin here, as I mentioned previously. We definitely want to run Zitlin in these comps because Light Zack has the agility bonus, so you do want to counteract that. I do want to mention, I would not recommend using this guy if you do not have the correct components. So you do need the attack, and you can use them there, but if you don't have the attack buff, or you do not have the precision, you're probably not going to have as great effect. He still will be useful, because you could still kill and one-shot people, even without getting a crit, or even getting deflected. It still has happened, but it's going to be much harder. So just keep that in mind if you're going to build out this character. But this character is an excellent endgame character for counteracting the arena here, and even though a lot of Mythasias here tend to run agility, almost never will get deflected because of that precision bonus here. So we could just let this run out, and we'll eventually win the battle. The real question is about that Light Zack, obviously, and we do not have the focus to land the unhealable, so we definitely cannot count on that at all. And so we're going to go ahead and just hit Hackrin, see if we can one-shot him here. We barely missed it with 195 HP. We're going to have to see if they have Last Breath. That's one of the reasons why we want to run Water Prison, because sometimes we want to stun the brand to prevent the attack up, but also if you have a Last Breath character that pops off and then pops up rather, you can just Water Prison them and they'll just die on the next round. But you can see here, we're just kind of going through and one-shotting everyone. There is like literally no problems here. Now, here comes the tricky part for a lot of players. We're going to try to avoid hitting him wherever we can, and then just try to hit him with Urzag here. Obviously, we're not going to be able to hit Light Zack as hard as the other characters, because he generally is built with high attack and has the attack buff on him oftentimes. So definitely a much harder character to deal with in regards to Urzag. And so this is where the Zitlin plus the high damage comes in, and we will end up killing him here. It doesn't look like they're in a revival set, but if they are in a revival set, that does end up being an issue sometimes. So another one down. These are 4K point diamond, at least top 50 players in my arena shard. So obviously you will find more difficult opponents, no doubt about it, but the average player will kind of be fighting that generally over and over again. And there's one last comp I want to try this against, and that is going to be this comp with Urian. He can deal with these tanky / one threat comps. I would recommend taking out our Zitlin. We do have to deal with a Mythasia and a brand, which makes it a little tricky. So we might keep Zitlin in, but I just want to showcase the difference between having no Zitlin. We're going to run a Hackrin here, and this is generally what I run against these burstier comps. Just try to survive that first round, get a Mythasia revive, or just try to not have Urzag die. Between Yolanda and all that, we generally can survive here. And then this is one of the reasons why I run a really fast Yolanda here, is because we can just pop up the shield here, and then Urian has a 50% chance not to crit. So he's not going to do that much damage, presumably to most of my squad here. He actually did crit Urzag, and he crit Yolanda, which is about 50% there, but did not do enough damage to kill either of them. We're going to go ahead and go for Mythasia here. And because of that attack up 2 not being on Urzag, you can see we're not hitting for too much, and so this battle is going to go on for quite a while, I imagine. Not only do we not have the attack up 2, but we also had attack up 2 on Mathasia, so she was going to go ahead and reduce the amount of damage we're actually dealing. But we're going to go ahead and just give the attack up 2, give ourselves a bonus turn at the end of the round here, and try to one-shot Mathasia once her buffs fall off. So we're going to go in basic here. And then she's going to go ahead and take the turn so her buffs will fall off. And then we're going to see if we can one-shot her. Generally, the attack strategy is kill the Reviver and then move on to Brand. If they have a single threat like this, where you're Ryan here, then I do like to go ahead and try to kill off the threat right after I kill off Mathasia, because then you can kind of take your time with the rest of the battle. You can go and try to land the defense down. Generally, players do not have resistance on their units too much, because of the fact that agility is way more prominent, and you want the HP plus agility, so it's really hard to get resistance. And generally this happens where if you kill off one of your Mathasias, they're going to revive with Last Breath. Not a big deal. We can go ahead and just check the brand cooldowns, make sure you can't cleanse. Okay, no problem. We can go ahead and Water Prison her now. And then just focus on trying to kill off this Urian here. We got the Unhealable, and it's just going to be a little bit of a grind here getting through the Urian. And it's important to note that Last Breath and the Water Prison spell have a similar cooldown, so you'll have Water Prison up every single time if you time it for that Last Breath, which is very, very interesting. But hopefully you all are enjoying the Urzag showcase here. It is quite fun. It's a little different than the normal showcases of some comps that I've been running, but I thought it'd be a little bit more fun here for you all to check this out, because I am just having an enormous amount of fun in Arena generally because of Urzag. It's actually crazy how easy this guy makes it for me personally. If you do have the components, if you have been saving for Yolanda, if you do have an Urzag that's well geared, he is almost unstoppable by these bruiser tank comps. There's not a single comp that I have not beaten unless it has Garel in it or a really, really well geared Dark Niklaus. Dark Niklaus can mess up this squad by just one-shotting your whole team, but if I happen to run Hakron in there, I generally can beat most of them. There's only a few in my Arena Shard last rotation that I couldn't beat, but hopefully we can kind of see the deflects here by Brand, because we don't have a Zitlin here. If we had a Zitlin, we would almost never get deflected even by Brand here, because Brand normally doesn't run agility. That's just generally not a stat that fits into the build, because you generally want focus, you generally want HP, and then you also want the speed, and so it's kind of hard to fit agility in there as well. But some people can do it once you get to those higher level of arenas. And you can see here we're taking some hits from the rounds, and this often happens, so you just kind of gotta grind through it and just go ahead and finish it off here, hopefully. Okay, not quite, but you just kind of grind through it by cycling through the bonus turns and all the different hits. There's the Last Breath popping up, and you'll see our Water Prison spell should be up next turn, but Brand is the fastest member on the enemy squad, so we're not going to be able to place it on him. But you can see there the Water Prison spell lines up perfectly with the Last Breath spell, but he's just going to kill himself off here. So that is just showcasing Urzag after the nerfs. I think a lot of people underestimated him after the nerfs, but I wanted to showcase him because of how fun I'm having with him, how much fun I'm having with him, and also how good he is if you're able to achieve these stats. Now, I know it's not incredibly easy for a lot of people, but again, if you can reach those like Connor, just like a Connor plus, 4.2k attack Urzak, you generally will be able to beat the comps that maybe aren't like the super high end of Arena, like rank 17, or maybe with the top, 20 players or so, but you'll definitely be able to beat the gold tank comps or the platinum tank comps. Those ones should not be a problem at all. So I just wanted to go ahead and showcase Urzag. Again, make sure that you have some decent stats before you go out and build them. Don't want to recommend that you build them before you have those stats acquired. But that'll be it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed showcasing Urzag here for you. But that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you for the next one.